Alright, we're going to use some of the trig skills that we learned when we start calculating out angles and distances for surface grinding one. We're going to learn how to set up a magnetic sine chuck, put it on the surface grinder, grind an angle onto a block, and then check that on the optical comparator to make sure we have the right angle. The first thing we want to do is we want to calculate out what our angle is going to actually be. So using the right triangle trig that we learned last week, we're going to start off with a right triangle. And we are going to calculate out for a certain angle that's in here. On my sine chuck here, I need to be able to figure out what a certain height is on my sine chuck. I know that the length from this roll to this roll is going to be 5 inches, which is going to be what my hypotenuse is. So I can put on my hypotenuse that I have a 5-inch length from here to here. I'm also going to know what my angle is. If I want to grind a 30-degree angle on my part, I know what my 30-degree angle is. Now, using the right triangle trig that we learned before, I can figure out what distance x has to be. We talked about SOHCAHTOA, and when we learned about SOHCAHTOA, we know that sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and tangent is the opposite over the adjacent. In this particular case here, what do I have? I have a hypotenuse, and I have an opposite, right? If I want to find this out, I'm going to use sine because I have opposite over the hypotenuse. So when I calculate this out, I will have an equation that is the sine 30 degrees equals opposite, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 5 inches. If I do the math on here, that's going to give us our angle. So if I take sine 30 degrees I get 0.5 equals x over 5 inches. What do I have to do to get x by itself? I have to multiply both sides by 5 inches. Okay, so if I take the 0.5 times the 5 inches, I get 2.5. So x is going to equal 2.5. Now I know the height that I have to set my gauge blocks for.